This episode is brought to you by Buy My Stuff on eBay. Yes, you too can buy my stuff from eBay. Simply search for the seller, Tin Dog Podcast, and you can own some rare and collectible items. From the same people who brought you Buy My Books on Amazon. Check the show notes for a direct link.
Scanning for audio.
It is the 31st century. Ulysses killed the giant Cyclops when he rescued the children and his son Telemachus. But the ancient gods of Olympus are angry and threaten a terrible revenge.
Mortals, you defy the gods? I sentence you to travel among unknown stars. Until you find the kingdom of Hades, your bodies will stay as lifeless as stones.
Ulysses, no one else can do the things you do. Ulysses, always fighting all the evil forces, bringing peace and justice to all.
Welcome to a Tin Dog Podcast. This time I'm talking about, of course, Ulysees31, what I'm going to call episode 3, because it's episode 3 on the DVD running order, although the production order and the order on Wikipedia have got it all over the place. But as most of us have got the DVD, traditionally it's best to go from the DVD order. This one's called The Black Sphere, also called Heratos in French, and I just want to say that I'm using a new piece of kit. Yes, I've now finally gone the full hog and got myself a nice pop shield. Now I know I've got a pop shield that I use when I'm recording using the snowball. Yes, that's how old my kit is when I'm talking about for your consideration stuff. But when I'm using my good old-fashioned Edirol Roland 09, yes, because I just really like the tone it gives to voices. There's a problem, and the problem is that it doesn't have a built-in pop shield, so I've built myself a little bit of contraption, and I'm calling it the Sound Cozy. I've used some of the soundproof foam you can get, and I've enclosed a sort of little sleeve that goes on the back of the pop shield that gives a nice bit of sound, well, let's call it protection, so that any extraneous noises of, say, cars going past, or the wind, or the rain on the roof, isn't quite as picked up as it used to be. That's not important, it doesn't affect you whatsoever. Where was I? Ah, yes. Episode 3, which is also called Episode 2. But this is Tin Dog Podcast number 1403, discussing the Black Sphere. So, let's quickly look at the synopsis. Ulysses meets an old scholar named Heratos and his assistant, a young Zotrian girl named Atina. Heratos gives Ulysses a map that he says is to the kingdom of Hades, but it's actually to the graveyard of wrecks and hulks which no one has ever left alive because the gods threatened Atina's life if he didn't deceive Ulysses. While there, Telemachus finds the Black Sphere which contains the map of Olympus. That is the synopsis. I mean, that is, let's face it, what happens in the episode. However, there's a lot more going on. Now, the idea of some people turning up to a blind man who's tormented by the gods, and let's face it, we do get a lovely cutaway moment, which we'll talk about in a minute, is more from Jason and the Argonauts. Yep. Do you remember that bit? And this is where we get back to Doctor Who. It's the bit of Jason and the Argonauts, the movie. That's the Ray Harryhausen beautiful animated bit with the harpies. There's no harpies in this. I'm sure they'll make a turn up later. But the harpies are tormenting. They've been sent by the gods because the old man, Phineas, I think is called, has given too much knowledge to the people around him. Okay? Which kind of reflects on this character. So you have got bits of Greek myth, just not the Odyssey. Which is fine, because let's face it, I've been reading the Odyssey, and apart from, say, 10 weird events, that's it. And this is 26 episodes long, so they're going to be homaging other bits of Greek myths, which means you get a lovely little introduction to Greek myths across the board. So, Jason goes to ask the old man for help, and he gives him sort of the way through the clashing rocks. Okay, so you've got similarities going on here. Oh, just so you know, there is actually, in reality, a Greek graveyard of shipwrecks, and historically it's where the gods and the nymphs have brought down a lot of ships. Apparently in modern Greece it's surrounded by cement works, so that kind of sums that up. So you've got a blind guy at the beginning. Okay, the things that I need to mention is this episode actually feels like full-on Ulysses, unlike last time's, which just felt a bit kind of almost Monster of the Week, a bit Medusa-y, but not quite, a bit Hydra-y, but not quite. This one feels a lot more Greek myths because it does feel much more influenced. It's got betrayal, it's got people being held to ransom by the gods, it's got the gods turning up and threatening people. It's got people trying to learn things further than they know, maps beyond the universe, and again another blue elf person turning up. I need to talk about something that is technical, okay? Bear with, as an animator I need to do this. Depth of field. Yeah, I've lost many of you already. Okay, now you'll know it when you see it, but let's discuss it. Something that's in the foreground, that's in focus, or something that's in the background in the distance, that's in focus, and the foreground is out of focus, okay? You would do that in real life by focusing the camera on the thing that you want to attract attention to, like the strange asteroid or the spaceship of a certain type, and everything else in the field, like the asteroids, would be out of date. It's to focus your attention, to go, this is important, okay? Subconsciously you do this automatically. But how do you do this on TV? What you do is you focus the camera. But how do you do this in animation? These things are flat drawings after all. Well, they have to build a rig, a very tall rig, and shoot through various different animation cells, which are all at various distances, physical distances from the camera, thus making things out of focus. Now I know if you're going to do this as the sphere in in America, you're going to have to put everything back into focus using AI, and that'll just be weird, but this is actual proper telly. So these things are drawings that have been set further apart in order to give a depth of field. This is the sort of thing that Disney invented. It's quite expensive. It's not a cheap set of flat drawings. This is what separates it from other types of animation at the time. That and a couple of other things. Worthy of mention is shadows. Okay, so I once made an animated film, a wind blaster scene, and one of my colleagues they sat watching it going, oh my god, the shadows, they had to draw those in individually, and then he realised it was a model and the shadows just appear naturally. Other way around here, there are shadows, depth of character. There's a line of two different colours being painted onto cells without a demarcation line that allows the animator to have. Now, I know it fails a couple of times and it does flicker, but most of the time you've got film noir style shadows appearing using different colours of paint. You've got the spaceships in sharp relief for the same thing. This is a very high quality piece of animation. There are moments of stillness here that you just don't get in modern animation. People are terrified of that sort of thing. But here you've definitely got moments of absolute stillness, and it's gorgeous. The design of the spaceships does feel a lot like the space jockey, the elephant thing in the original film Alien. Let's face it, that's only 2 years earlier than the production on this beginning. The design feels so much better than anything that's gone before. So, yes, this does have influences from other Greek myths, really not a problem. It looks magnificent, yeah, and this is what Ulysses is all about. A dark story. Something with a bit of character behind it. And yes, losing the map's bad. And yes, there's a bit of redemption arc going on for the characters, but this is the sort of stuff you just didn't get in animation. It's a cracking piece of work. Right, I'll let you go, and I'll speak to you all again, probably about something else. Until next time, be seeing you. That was the Tin Dog Podcast. All topics discussed are the intellectual property of the copyright owners. No infringement is intended. Why not follow the show on Blue Sky at tindogpodcast.bsky.social. If you've enjoyed this podcast on YouTube, please click like and subscribe. To contact the show, email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.